Imagine a time when India had no freedom of speech, no freedom to express, no freedom to dream. But even in that silence, some voices refused to stay quiet. They wrote, they challenged, they questioned, and slowly, word by word, poem by poem, speech by speech, they rebuilt the Indian mind. Before India became a free nation, it first became a thinking nation. And the people who made this possible were not warriors with swords but writers with pens. Today, we step into the world of those extraordinary authors who shaped India before independence. They didn't just write literature, they wrote history. Welcome to this deep dive session on Unit 2, Authors of Pre-Independence India. These writers lived in a time when English was a foreign language forced upon Indians, and yet they mastered it, transformed it, and used it as a tool of rebellion, reform, and self-expression. From social reformers to poets, from revolutionaries to philosophers, from women pioneers to national icons, each of these authors played a unique role in shaping modern Indian identity. Let's walk through their stories, their contributions, and how they changed the soul of India. First, let's talk about Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy is known as the father of the Indian Renaissance. He believed that a society cannot progress unless its people learn to question old beliefs. Through his English writings, he fought against practices like sati, child marriage, and blind orthodoxy. He argued for women's rights, scientific education, and religious tolerance. Roy used English not to imitate the West but to challenge colonial narratives. He set the tone for all future Indian English writing, bold, modern, and reform-oriented. Next, let's talk about Toru Dutt. Toru Dutt, one of India's earliest women writers in English, lived only 21 years but left an immortal legacy. Her poetry brought Indian myths and legends into English. Through works like Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan, she proved that Indian culture could shine in any language. She became a symbol of both Indian identity and feminine creativity. Now, let's talk about Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's life is a journey from political revolution to spiritual evolution. His early writings inspired Indians to rise against colonial rule. Later, his philosophical works like The Life Divine explored the deepest layers of human consciousness. Aurobindo showed that the fight for freedom is both external and internal. Now, let's talk about Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was a monk who carried India's spiritual brilliance to the world. His Chicago speech made the world stop and listen. His essays and lectures used simple English to express deep Indian wisdom. He taught strength, unity, self-confidence, and universal brotherhood. His words awakened a generation. I am sure students, all of you have heard about Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay gave India Vande Mataram, a song that became the soul of India's freedom struggle. His novels use history and patriotism to ignite national pride. He showed how literature could stir emotions and inspire resistance. He shaped the early national imagination of India. Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation. Mahatma Gandhi was not only a freedom fighter but also a powerful writer. His writings in Young India, Harijan, and the Indian Opinion shaped public opinion. His autobiography, My Experiments with Truth, influenced the entire world. Gandhi believed in clarity, honesty, and simplicity. His words became movements, his ideas changed the nation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Ambedkar's writings reshaped India's intellectual and political landscape. Through works like Annihilation of Caste, he challenged injustice and demanded equality. His speeches and essays fought millions of battles for human dignity. Ambedkar used English to demand justice, logic, and constitutional morality. He laid the foundation for modern Indian democracy. Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore, the first Asian Nobel laureate, introduced Indian English literature to the world. His English translations of Gita Anjali express devotion, nature, humanity, and divine love. His works built a bridge between Indian and global culture. He believed that literature must unite, not divide. Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, blended lyrical poetry with patriotic courage. Her poems sang of love, nature, and freedom. Her speeches inspired thousands during the freedom struggle. She proved that a poet can also be a fighter. Henry Derozio. Henry Derozio was one of the earliest Indian English poets. A young teacher, poet, and rebel, he formed the Young Bengal movement. His poetry was passionate, questioning, and fearless. He encouraged youth to think freely and challenge old beliefs. He planted early seeds of modern Indian thought. Deen Mohammed. Deen Mohammed wrote the first Indian travel book in English, The Travels of Deen Mohammed. He described Indian culture and daily life at a time when Indian voices were rarely heard. His writings created a cultural bridge between India and Europe. Krupabai Sathinathan. Krupabai was one of the first Indian women novelists in English. Her novels like Saguna and Kamala explored the struggles, dreams, and inner lives of Indian women. She wrote with emotional depth and psychological insight. She opened doors for women's voices in Indian English literature. Cornelia Sorobji. Cornelia Sorobji was India's first female lawyer and a powerful writer. Her stories and essays reveal social injustice faced by women. Her English prose was sharp, empathetic, and rooted in lived experience. She used literature to advocate for women's rights. These authors lived in different times and wrote in different styles, but together they built the intellectual foundation of modern India. They used English, a colonial language, to express Indian identity, dreams, struggles, and hopes. Their writings lit the torch that guided India towards independence. To study them is to understand how a nation learns to think, feel, question, and rise. Students, if you found this narrative helpful, if you want more storytelling lessons, if you prefer clear, engaging explanations, share it with your friends, stay connected, subscribe to my channel. Our next session will take you deeper into Indian English literature.